following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac.
Final here tonight for so many, an old famous back and forth between President George H.W. Bush and Dana Carvey is so telling. Here's Major Garrett.
The way to do the president is to start out with Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Then you add a little John Wayne. Here we go. Let's go over the ridge. You put them together. You got George Herbert Walker Bush.
Together, President Bush and his comedic foil, Dana Carvey, forged a perhaps unexpected friendship, one that started after Bush lost his bid for re-election in 1992. Mr. Bush invited Carvey to the White House as a pick-me-up for the staff.
I was staying in the Lincoln bedroom last night, and I couldn't resist getting on the phone, and I called up the Secret Service as the president. Feel like going jogging tonight? In the nude.
Carvey's Saturday Night Live impressions were comedy gold.
Bad, they're bad.
So memorable, Mr. Bush himself had to join in the fun.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
In all my years of government service, I never once said nagada.
The president's grace and generosity vividly on display as he recounted a phone call to Carvey.
He said, I hope I've never crossed the line. And I knew exactly what he meant. And as far as I'm concerned, he never has. And the fact that we can laugh at each other is a very fundamental thing.
We had so many warm moments with them. And
in April, Carvey described his 25-year friendship with the Bushes and how times have coarsened.
They didn't demonize the other side. It was just a different time.
Upon Mr. Bush's death, Carvey wrote simply, "When I think of those times, what I remember most is how hard we would laugh. I will miss my friend." Major Garrett, CBS News, Washington.
That's right. Not gonna die. We're here, and we're very happy to talk about a certain for a show that used to not be about politics at all. We're about to get very political. This is a great intro. I'm doing well. I've been awake for approximately 30 minutes. Things are working, fellas. This is the Nostalgia Funhouse. I'm Johnny. He's Andrew. He's Will. Andrew, what are we talking about today?
Well, in I think a week or so, we're going to have President's Day. And what's the best way to celebrate President's Day? But talking about SNL Presidents.
Wait, is that? I went out and chopped down every cherry tree I could find, and then I lied about it. That's how I celebrate President's Day.
Did you?
I went to every log cabin I could find, and I burned them to the ground.
I played with my Lincoln logs.
I went for
a
ride in Dallas in a convertible with the top down. My head kind of hurts, but I think I'll make it through the episode.
We're gonna get an angry face for that for sure.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Guys, I like to go to stores and steal things and then just tell them that I am not a crook. And then I make a peace sign and then I walk out.
And you shake your head a little bit as you're saying it.
Yeah.
Not a crook.
Oh man, what would y'all?
I like to fake the fact that I have polio so I can keep face in front of the American people.
Well, make sure you marry your first cousin.
I will.
Yeah.
I've been doing that my whole life so I can get the checks I keep rolling in.
Yeah. Polio's back, fellas, in a big way.
Okay.
Don't you dare get your shots. It's going to make you autistic.
Yeah. You'd be painting before you know it.
We went way political on this one. We haven't even started talking about any of these.
That's why I never get my shots. So I can be like really, really good at one particular thing. I'm really hyper focused on it.
I thought you were artistic, Johnny.
I am, and alt.
I've been autistic since the aughts.
I think we're all a little alt.
I had a way that I was going to start this with you guys, but I think I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore.
Come on,
We're,
Andrew, wrangle us in. What are we
we're
doing?
helping.
We're wild bucking Broncos going
I,
crazy.
I'm too tired. Johnny's been up. He's up for 30 minutes. I've been up since
I am not in control of what I say today.
1 o'clock yesterday.
I've had a lot of caffeine, so I'm tip top,
Oh, geez.
prime form.
I gotta go. Oh, so SNL Presidents. I think it's been a staple of Saturday Night Live, even
Yeah.
since the very beginning with Chevy Chase, where for many years I would see those old skits of Chevy Chase doing Gerald Ford and thinking to myself, he looks nothing like Gerald Ford.
You
And
thinking people would run after Chevy Chase to be Chevy Chasers?
and I thought because of those skits that Gerald Ford was a complete and utter clown, but turns out that Gerald Ford was like a very athletic guy. He played for the University of Michigan, but because of one trip, SNL just
I thought it was more because of The Simpsons that he was an utter fool.
no, it's all because he was like one of the first presidents to like fall coming out of the Air Force One.
Yeah, it's a very famous clip. He's getting
Was
out
he
of
wearing his Air
One.
Force Ones while he was
I don't even think Air Force
departing Air
Ones
Force
were
One?
invented.
Well, that's his
Because-
problem. If he was wearing Air Force Ones, he wouldn't have fallen.
He told
The
himself to
grip
get off
on
his-
those? Get out of town.
He told himself to get off his plane, and he did.
There were snakes on it, I heard.
Yeah,
So that was like
Harrison Ford was there.
that is the first time SNL did this, but I think the one that we probably all remember the most is good old Dana Carvey doing. I don't even know what you call him anymore. What do we call him? Is he
George Washington,
George-
George
I-
Bush Sr.
I'm,
George
you
Washington.
know what's really sad is I'm in Texas and I've drove on this guy's like turnpike or throughway and I
I thought
can't
you were gonna say loan. I've driven this guy's loan.
no. What is
I
it?
did
George,
donuts.
what is he? George H.W. Bush?
I just
Papa
call
Bush.
him George Bush Sr.
George Bush Sr.
I call
Yeah.
him Papa Bush.
That's a good one too, yeah.
So that was like my first introduction into a political realm was through.
That's the first one I can
SNL.
remember.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's not my favorite one, but it's the
Really?
first one I definitely remember. Yeah. Because I only remember not gonna die. That's all I remember. I don't really remember the skit. Here's the other thing about me too. I normally don't even care about because it's almost always the opening sketch now. For SNL is the political sketch with the president. And I almost always just skip it now because I just don't care.
I don't think I've actually sat down and watched an episode of SNL in probably over 20 years.
Well, they do this great thing now where they just put all the sketches that they do on YouTube.
That's
So you
Yeah.
just kind of look at them and see if you want to watch one or not.
Yeah, that's what I do. And a lot of it's based on who the guest host is that night.
Yep, same.
But there was actually two Bill Clintons.
Yeah, Phil
Phil Hartman, R.I.P.
Phil Hartman, yeah.
and
The
Daryl-
legend.
Daryl Hammond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he filled in.
He
Yeah,
was
both are good, but I remember the Hartman one for sure.
Yeah, Hartman was at the peak.
I
I
said
see Clinton kind of like Trump. Like Clinton was so comedic as like all the stuff that happened when he was president to him specifically. That is almost like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like low-hanging fruit.
See,
Yeah.
I felt the same way too with good old George W. when Will Ferrell used to do him.
Yeah,
But
see,
Farrell, like,
that's my favorite one. That's the one I
yeah,
remember.
Farrell was kind of, he put his own spin on it, and
Yeah.
it was more in the speaking pattern than anything else, I feel.
Because I love that one where it's Dana Carvey and Will Ferrell and they're playing
Hunting?
Yes.
Yes, I love that one.
And, and he's playing with the antlers.
Yep. And then like he almost hit him, like Dana Carvey almost hit him. He's like, and then he literally hits him, and they make the smack noise. He's like, I meant to hit you that time. That was on purpose.
He's like, look, Dad, there's a buck. There's that buck. And he's like, hon, I wanna talk to you about, you being president and everything else. And then finally he's like, you know what? Why don't you run along and take that? And then you see Dana Carvey raise up his rifle and he's like,
Yeah.
it's like it'd be wrong, it'd be bad.
I think
First
the
of all, I
best
go to
quote in
jail.
that sketch is, he's like, you're gonna be the ruler of the free world. Like you're gonna be in charge
Yeah.
of the best biggest military might in the world. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great.
Why would you not be stoked about that?
Yeah, it's a valid point.
I do remember there was one where it was when I think it was him, McCain, and somebody else. This is before that they were presidents, but they were doing like a presidential candidate thing and to play on like the childishness of George Bush. Like they were in a restaurant or something, and the waiter came up with the bill, and he just reached into his pocket and grabbed out all this money and change, and he's like, "How much is this money?" And he just like put it on the table. And that's why I think that's why even if they're not like that, like the president isn't like that all the way, it's still funny because you get it in your head that that's how they are, even just looking at these skits.
I kind of think today they cheat a little bit because what they like to do now is actually bring in somebody who's not on the main cast to
Yeah, I agree.
play. Then I'm like, that's kind of cheating, even if they are
Yeah.
good at it. If you're gonna do that, just bring in Shane Gillis to be Trump.
Yeah, for sure. Or just give him his job back. Probably doesn't want it anymore.
I think he's doing fine.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I think he's doing a-okay.
Yeah.
You know what I think is weird is I think both of the Quaid brothers both played Ronald Reagan at one point.
Well, didn't Dennis Quaid just film a movie where he plays
Yeah,
Reagan?
but I think Randy Quaid, if
Now,
I'm
let me ask you this. Did Randy play Reagan while he was rapping?
That's the only way it
Rapping
works.
Ronnie Reagan? That's a great cassette tape.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Randy Quaid, I think played him on SNL in the 80s.
That before or after is that's cussing. That's
What?
I was gonna the very famous line he has in a certain Christmas movie.
Oh yeah. You know what is full?
Yeah.
No, what was full? The bank account or?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure it was at that time. Probably not
No.
anymore.
No,
Did he go kind of off the radar, literally?
he did.
Yeah, he moved to Canada. Now he makes promiscuous videos with his wife. And they show how much they love each other.
Really?
Physically.
No, come on.
Well, I mean, nobody's paying for it, but they'll give it to you for free if you want to watch it.
They actually make you,
You know-
watch it. They kidnap you.
They sit you down.
and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're giving you, and what's even worse is they're giving you commentary as you're watching it.
The saddest thing I've seen is like they interviewed Dennis Quaid about Randy, and he's like, "I just miss my brother." It was so sad.
Yeah.
He just knows he's just gone mentally.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gary Busey.
It's probably because he was on that Amish farm for so long. Just got all pent up. Couldn't bowl as
There's
much as he
nothing wrong
wanted
with-
to bowl.
Nothing wrong with Amish people
Yeah, but
now.
they won't let you bowl.
I was
You
a
got to bowl
Mennonite, I could
15
bowl all I wanted.
frames. You
That's
got to
why you
bowl.
need Mennonite.
They bowled 15 frames. That's
why you become
tiresome.
a Mennonite, though. A Mennonite is like being Amish, but you get to go bowling.
That is yeah, he did play Ronald Reagan because Ron Reagan, who I'm guessing is Ronald Reagan's son, hosted Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
Huh. That had to be an awkward dinner the next day.
That's also another great topic, just the weirdest SNL host.
Well, why can't you have Ron Reagan?
I mean, you can, but why?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, what skills does he have? Watch, he's like a world-renowned ventriloquist.
because it's SNL in 1986 and it's pretty horrible. I think your biggest thing was the fact that you took what the hell's his name? Martin Short did Ed Grimley, I want to say, from SCTV and brought him over. And I think like this is like bad cast in 1986.
I still fully believe that whatever SNL is on the air during your late teens to early 20s, regardless whether it's the best or not, that's going to be, in your opinion, the best version of SNL.
Yeah, that's when it kind of imprints itself on you in
Yeah.
a way. That's
So
like mine's always going to be the first one I really got into, like, is the Farley Sandler cast,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one. If you go back and actually look at the history, that people like hated that cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that cast.
That's my favorite. So
I mean, didn't they fired Farley, Sandler, and Rock all at the same time?
Yeah.
That's
And there was
because
an
And they
article.
kept and they kept Spade. Just think about that.
Spade was probably cheap. That's because they also for that at time, if you watched Comedy Central, they beat those into the ground. Like they played
Oh yeah, yeah.
SNL, especially those ones. They would play the
Yep.
SNL reruns, and especially those ones, they beat those into the ground to the point
What
where
else are you going to show your Comedy Central? What do
What
you
do they
have?
even show now?
Meet the Millers like 100 times.
South Park
Such
took off Detroiters. Uh, yeah, I don't even know
a good
what's on
show.
I don't even know what's on Comedy Central anymore.
Yeah, I don't have cable anymore.
I used to say Tosh, but Tosh is gone.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Uh,
That's a good question. What is him?
Last time I turned it on, I was in the hospital, and I just watched. I think it was Bill. Happy Gilmore was on, and then an episode of Friends, I believe, and I got really mad that that was on Comedy Central because it's not
Yeah,
funny at all.
they
supposed to be a
played The
comedy.
Office a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they do The Office, Seinfeld, and South Park. I think that's their main things right now. And
Nice.
Family Guy. I think they play
Yeah.
runs of Family Guy.
I'm done with Family Guy.
But is Family Guy done with you?
Probably not.
But you're just a family guy. How can you be
Yeah.
done with it?
But
Are you leaving your wife and abandoning your kids?
no.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you're the show. Okay, I see. I got confused.
so you guys actually prefer the Phil Hartman, Bill Clinton over the Daryl Hammond?
I think
I
both are
do.
good. Both are good, but I think Hartman, and it might just be my love of Hartman in the first place. Like
Yeah,
a big
I think
film.
so.
Yeah.
I think the Hammond is a better Clinton, but I just
Yeah.
prefer Hartman's because I think Hartman puts a whimsical spin on it. Like that the sketch you sent with him at McDonald's is like
Oh
my
no.
favorite presidential one, where he's just stealing people's food at McDonald's. It's so ridiculous, but I'm like, I think Clinton would do that. I really
Yeah.
do. I
It
think
does
he'd
seem
go
like a
there
Clinton
because they
thing.
would always say he goes for jogs with the
Yeah.
Secret Service agents, and like I could totally see him like, hey, we're gonna go to McDonald's. Don't tell Hillary. Don't tell Hillary.
There's
The
gonna be a lot of
best line in
extra.
that one is when the Secret Service guy was like, Mrs. Clinton better not find out, or when he says, you better not tell Mrs. Clinton, and Clinton says something about there's going to be a lot of things that we don't tell Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah.
That was some
Gold.
foreshadowing.
Yeah. To
They
this day,
knew.
Hillary doesn't know that he can play the saxophone.
She never watched she never watched Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
She refused to. She said the show wasn't for me. I don't know what she meant by that, but
I watched one where Daryl Hammond and he's reading the Paula Jones deposition.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
reading
Yeah.
it, and Daryl Hammond every 2 seconds is like, "That's hot." He was like, "This is so good. Read it. That's hot." It's like I walked into the hotel room and there was the Governor Clinton laying on the bed without pants on. He's like, "Ooh, yeah, I got to keep on reading this. This is getting good." And at first, I thought it was about like the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, and then I forgot about the whole Paula Jones thing as well, where she got him on that too for the sexual harassment. He was a very frisky president, that Mr. Clinton. And
I
well,
think for
pent up testosterone he had to get rid of.
I mean he's from Arkansas. There's nothing to do there.
I drove through there. Really, very, very regret.
I've been to Alabama and I think they're very similar, so that's what I'm judging that on.
They got
I think for Will and I, it has as much to do about which person is portraying the president, regardless of how good that actual, like how close they are to the likeness of the president.
Yeah, it's all mannerisms and just like putting kind of your own spin on it. Like obviously Will Ferrell really didn't look like George Bush Jr., but like just the way he'd squint
yeah,
and just his line delivery was priceless.
Yeah,
like the
to
whole
the point where that's how I'd always think. Like if I was trying to do an impression of uh Bush Jr., like I would probably be really doing an impression of Will Ferrell doing Bush Jr.
Agreed. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's how we know how to do it. Like if I was, you asked me about George Bush Sr. there, I go right to Dana Carvey, not anything that I remember George Bush
Same.
Sr. talking about when he was talking about, the Gulf War or anything like that. It goes right, my brain goes right to Dana Carvey.
What do you think George Sr. had against the cartels? I mean, he really
Probably
didn't like them.
Probably something he had against The Simpsons.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
That's
Not
a
good
great,
family.
that's a great episode.
I prefer the Waltons to the Simpsons personally.
Well, good night, John Boy.
You know what's crazy is I'm looking at this list and it's all the newer. It's like best and worst. Why would Chris?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they got like Chris Parnell did George W. Bush.
I think he did. I don't remember, but I don't remember any of the sketches.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how you could do it after.
But somebody's got to. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's the
I mean,
necessity. When Farrell's gone, you gotta fill that void.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you who parodied Obama.
Oh, here. I
Jay
don't.
Farrow, right?
Yeah, Jay Farrow.
I remember he did it.
The
This
best
is pretty good.
Fred Armstead or Armstead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That guy. I guess John Cena played Trump at one point.
Yeah, there's like I feel like Trump and Obama have had the most people portray them.
They
Well,
got
the best Trump one I ever saw was when Shane Gillis came back to host, and they did this whole little video about Trump having his own basketball shoes.
Yeah.
That's a really good sketch.
Yeah, they got the best Obama as Jay Farrow and the worst Fred Armisen. But the Fred Armisen, it looks I'm gonna get myself into trouble. It looks like they try to make him look like Obama. Like
Yeah,
how
we
we
don't need
said,
any
like
more.
you're just gonna try and make him up instead of just kind of like letting
Yeah.
something
Remember, Saturday Night
natural
Live did
happen.
this, not us, not us.
Yes,
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live did this.
How'd they do that? Did you
And-
what do you think they tried to do?
And
We're gonna get some angry faces.
you know, but they made him look like Chris Kattan doing another sketch, like in a way.
where it's like that little monkey guy.
Yeah,
What was that character's name?
Mr. Peepers.
Yeah, Mr. Peepers. We're gonna eat that fruit really fast.
I swear this picture, that's exactly what it looks like. And it
I'll
looks
look this up. See what my thoughts are.
it looks so bad.
because at the end of this, Will, we're gonna have you pick the one SNL president that you.
Oh, I already have my ahead of you. I'm ahead of you.
Could you imagine if Sarah Palin would have won and we would have got Tina Fey all those times?
You know what? You're
Tina Fey
right.
was a
I
great
think
palette,
I
though.
think they told Fred to go to a tanning salon for a couple days.
They got the best Bill Clinton as Daryl Hammond. And the worst worst Bill Clinton is a guy once again where they're like, hey, you're hosting this. Oh no, I think he was maybe part of the cast. Is Michael McKean, best known as what is he? If you watch Better Call Saul.
Oh, his brother?
Yeah, his brother or the cop in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even look that good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to be body shaming people here.
And
Man, he
Ralph,
looks more like in the sketches that I'm seeing as him as Clinton. He looks more like Reagan.
who's that?
Michael McKean.
Yeah, like he doesn't even look
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
like not even at all.
Not at all. I just wanted to be part of this.
And then the best Ronald Reagan they have is Phil Hartman. Oh my goodness, here's a name. Oh, that is nightmare fuel. The worst Ronald Reagan, and I never even realized he did Ronald Reagan, and you talk about bad makeup jobs. Joe Piscopo. That's right, guys. How can we talk about anything SNL wise if we don't talk about Joe Piscopo? The only time we'd probably ever talk about Joe Piscopo on this whole entire podcast would be if we're talking about SNL or Johnny Dangerously.
I never saw that movie.
I did once.
I'm trying to think of any Joe Piscopo movie I've seen.
Maybe I'll change my movie.
Johnny Dangerously.
Oh, I had a question about movies, but it's very unrelated to what we're doing right now, so I'll save it for later.
And then
Yeah, he looks awful.
Yeah. Did you see Joe Piscopo as good old?
Yeah. Why does he kind of look like Lou Ferrigno?
That's what he looks like. It looks like he bought a Ronald Reagan mask and they tried to
Put it on, yeah.
Like put it on and we're gonna try and fill
He
it.
reminds me of that guy from what was the guy from MTV that looked like he had like chin putty to elongate his chin?
Oh,
Max Headroom.
yes.
Oh yeah.
And I never knew that Dan Aykroyd did Jimmy Carter. Like these guys don't even look like them, but
Okay, I've seen Sidekicks, and apparently he's in Sidekicks.
Who's
Yeah,
that? Joe
movie.
Piscopo? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he plays the like evil dojo guy, like sidekicks, you know. How can we make Karate Kid but with Chuck Norris?
Yeah, Sidekicks rules.
I'm pretty sure good old Gary T now is going to put some slander back on my name because I'm making fun of sidekicks.
I'll slander your name. Sidekicks rules.
It was a good. I don't think it's going to be as a kid. I love sidekicks, but I really don't think it is a stand the test of time movie.
It probably won't, but I'll still love it.
Just like you liked Homeward Bound,
Yep.
aka How to Be a Shitty Pet Owner.
To this day.
Uh-huh.
To this day. And I'm going to watch the sequel.
I will never touch the sequel.
It
What?
doesn't want you.
I don't. I don't want it at all. I don't want it.
Those now protest too much over there.
I would never watch that crap ever again.
It's not crap. It's way good.
Speaking of sidekicks, I mean, we got to look at some of the good vice president impersonations that we've had over the years. We brought up Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
No?
Gore. I was trying to remember who did Gore.
I
think
just
it was-
watched one with him. He was pretty good.
Wasn't it Hammond again?
Might have been.
I love the one where they brought in the little kid for Dan Quayle. And he's sitting on Dana Carvey, like standing next to Dana Carvey, and he's like, "We did it, George, didn't we?" And he's like, "Yes, we did. Yes, we did." And he's like, "We got him real good, didn't we?" Because
Which
I
is
never
one,
saw-
who's the there's one that really stands out in my mind. It's an opening political sketch. And I don't remember who the figure is supposed to be that's playing like the person giving the speech at the podium. But next to him is Chris Farley playing like a kid.
Oh,
It's-
that's really Rudolph Giuliani.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a great. I love that one. But I'm a Farley fan, so
Yeah, that's the old mayor of New York City there. Daryl Hammond did Al Gore.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
So he did.
I watched one recently where it was them debating, him and George Bush debating, and he's giving all these points, and then Will Ferrell just responds with, "I'll tell you what, you don't mess with Texas," and that's it. And the moderator's like, "Mr. Bush, I've listened to everything that Mr. Gore has said, and I don't think he said anything in regards to messing with Texas. Well, that's good."
Living in Texas, I could tell you that is a perfect response to anything.
Yeah.
I always loved good old Norm Macdonald. And
Norm
he ran for
Macdonald.
president is his Bob Dole.
Yes.
Bob Dole doesn't like that. I'm going to tell you what Bob Dole likes. Bob Dole likes it's just him constantly saying Bob Dole every 5 seconds. I love that.
He did say his name a lot.
He's like Bob Dole. Bob Dole's going to tell you what Bob Dole's going to do. Bob Dole's gonna...
Something unsettling about someone who refers to themselves in the third person.
So if I was able to vote when Bob Dole was running for president, I would have voted for him.
I would have just because he was Jack Kemp was his running mate.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
former quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Could have been vice president.
The only Buffalo Bill to win a championship.
AFC championship counts.
I wouldn't count it as a league championship.
What about the AFL? It was its own league.
It
It was
was.
the American Football League. The Bills won that.
Jack Kemp won that one.
Yeah, but didn't Joe Dempsey too? No? Yes?
Joe Dempsey.
No.
Who's Joe Dempsey?
Some guy. I don't know.
Are you making up Bills players?
I'm seeing if I'm testing your knowledge.
Just
throwing names out there.
Don't throw names at me. I'm getting to the point where
Jack Delhomme.
Remember Clint Barrow? He's a great
Wait,
player.
Joe Dempsey is a boxer.
Yeah, he was there.
Joe or Jack Dempsey or Jack Dempsey was a boxer. Joe Dempsey is an actor.
But I bet they're
What are you
both
guys doing to me?
We're testing your alert levels here with your lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I had to look it up too because I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. You know, Joe Dempsey, throw that football down the field. He's great. Yeah. He'd catch it too.
What about the quarterback for he played quarterback for the Jaguars, Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
I cannot
that guy. And he was justified in it.
There is no Joe Dempsey. Oh wait,
there is.
Joe Dempsey football player.
There you go.
Okay, so there's Tom Dempsey. He had half of a foot.
Yeah, Tommy. He's kicking it.
Yeah.
But he never did play for the Bills.
He was that you know of. You don't know. He could have showed up to practice
one day.
Oh, he actually
did play for the Bills in 70,
there you go.
79, but...
Told you. He showed up to training camp and they cut him, just like his toes.
I think he was born that way.
Well, then God cut his toes.
That's why you can't put anything in there, because he had like a steel plate in front of his 1 foot.
Did you know that Johnny Gargano, like one of his feet is shorter than the other, and he's got to wear special shoes for that? That's a true story.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
probably why he walks with a limp. I thought it was just because he was hanging and clanging.
Or is it because he can only make one face?
He makes so many faces.
I thought it was just a smiley one.
What else was there? Like the president
with a squinty eye.
Yeah.
See, I do remember
Bush Jr.
Dana Carvey doing he did Ross Perot too.
Oh yes, he did.
Yeah.
I forgot about Mr. Perot. He should have been a president. Totally should have.
I didn't even know
with a straw cap.
He's another Texan, I believe.
Doesn't matter if you can spell potatoes or not. He can be president.
Yeah, he was wonderful. Those big ears. He would have heard everything that happened in the world.
You would not have got away with anything with his big ears to the ground.
Now I'm gonna burst the bubble and I'm gonna tell you guys the president that I find the most attractive. All right.
Yeah. Tell me who do you find?
I find the most attractive. I'm gonna tell you who it is. Now I'm gonna
Is this
tell you this real life story
or SNL?
No, for SNL.
Okay.
All right. So for a short period of time, Friday morning, the United States, for the first time, is going to have a woman formally acting as president. President Joe Biden, who turned 79 on Saturday, briefly transferred power to Vice President Kamala Harris when he was under anesthesia for a colonoscopy. So, in that regard, Kamala Harris was a president of the United States. So I'm going with Maya Rudolph as Kamala Harris.
I will give you Maya Rudolph all day long.
Oh yes.
Oh, I
she's a tasty snack.
I'll give you my Rudolph.
Well, I would, because if you watch the movie Idiocracy, just call me Upgrade, and I would her pimp.
There you go. That's a classic film.
That is a classic film.
And she's also married to one of my favorite directors, Paul Thomas Anderson.
PTA?
Yeah. Not to be confused with Paul Anderson, who's a hack and can't direct his way out of a sack.
Jeez.
Or a Resident Evil movie.
Tell us how you really feel.
I meant to tell our friend Matt that they're making another Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I had to talk him down off the ledge when he was here Saturday when he found out.
But this one, they swear they're going to follow the games more.
Please don't.
It's actually just going to be a movie of someone playing the game.
That's all it's going to be.
Pretty much that's all you need.
Just somebody streaming it.
Yeah.
Were we gypped I'm really looking back on this. Were we gypped that Bob Dole did not win the election and we missed out on years and years of
Comedy gold.
Norm Macdonald just repeating Bob Dole over and over and over and over again? But yet we got more Clinton of more Daryl Hammond. Would you have rather had more Daryl Hammond as Clinton or Norm Macdonald as Bob Dole?
Anything with Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm.
Like, because that's the only thing that I could think of is I'm not aware of any political views, but if I got to pick just out of pure hilarity for 4 years watching SNL, I got to go with Norm Macdonald.
Norm to this day still has one of my favorite all-time jokes from Saturday Night Live when he's behind the news desk and he goes on the music charts, like he says the number one band was better than Ezra. Number two, Ezra. That joke just lives rip free in my head for how perfect it was.
Did anybody play Nixon on these? Or is Nixon
they had
the
to,
role
right?
of the president?
Well, SNL started in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
75.
Yeah.
Which I heard.
Hence why it's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Which I heard the SNL movie, Chevy Chase. I heard this through the Cornette thing that I guess, was it Ivan Reitman's son did the movie?
Yeah, Jason Reitman. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix. I watched it last weekend.
Well, is it what Chevy Chase told Jason Reitman? That he should be embarrassed for himself?
I mean, the movie is such a chaotic film. It's hard to catch everything because it's literally like a movie the movie's 2 hours. It takes place during 2 hours. So it's like the lead up to the very first episode of SNL. So there's all these little side gags and little characters that come in and out. As a Jim Henson fan, the guy who does Jim Henson is fantastic. And they bring up the fact that they used to like just destroy his Muppets for that first season, and he always used to complain about it.
Oh,
and how he never had the scripts on time. And it sounds like nobody ever had the scripts on time. It's definitely worth a watch, just for nostalgia's sake. Like, the guy who plays Aykroyd's spot on. The guy who plays Chevy Chase, does a good job. The Glidner Radner is pretty good. So,
Rosanna,
definitely worth a watch.
Was it Rosanna Dana or something like that she used to do?
Does Chevy Chase like anything? I don't think Chevy Chase likes anything.
I don't think Chevy Chase likes himself.
Yeah, he's like
he
the old.
Doesn't like himself.
Here you go. Here's the reference to wrestling reference. He's like the Ole Anderson of acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just miserable all the time.
Yep. So there's been 4 different. I don't know if they're all cast
but
members.
He was great on Community.
He was
till they kicked him off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
he kicked himself.
Listen, Troy told him that he didn't want to meet LeVar Burton in person.
That's still my favorite episode.
He told him multiple times he only wanted an autograph. So right there is going to get you kicked off the show.
Yep.
Again, one of my favorite lines in television. Chevy Chase talking about his father, and he says something about my dad told me I shouldn't hold grudges, and I'll never forgive him for that.
So we got Dan Aykroyd played him in 1977. Tony Rostino in 82.
That's a name everybody knows. Yeah.
Joe Piscopo again.
They tried to give that man a bone.
In another nightmare-fueled mask.
Like, here, you try this.
And John Turturro? Well, you got to figure, you got to give Joe Piscopo something because his greatest SNL character that he's known for is playing Pokey in the Gumby skits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything else that he would have played that is memorable other than him playing Pokey. He fell off hard. Or Joe Piscopo.
I don't think anybody said that and meant it until today.
I mean it.
I know you do.
I can tell you a single thing that I've ever cared.
I have a tear right here for Joe Piscopo.
Was he in Homer Bound?
That's what he did. That's what he did because I used to get yelled at for doing it all the time. He played the Jersey guy. And he would go up to people and he'd be like, I'm from Jersey. You from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. You're from Jersey. And just keep on pretty much saying that 24 million.
Oh, so he was annoying as hell.
I can see why that sketch didn't resonate with me. Because I, believe it or not, am not from Jersey, nor have I ever been to Jersey, nor do I ever wish to enter Jersey.
I've been,
whether it's new nor old.
Yeah, I've been to New Jersey.
Worn one. I've worn a jersey.
I've been to New Jersey and it's interesting. Well,
oh shit, I've been to Jersey. Damn it.
Probably wrestling.
No, I went there for WrestleMania. New York, New Jersey. Technically, it's Jersey. It was terrible.
Oh yeah, because it's MetLife, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Damn it.
You been
the things I do for wrestling. Awful. I go to places like New Jersey.
Well, if you're listening to us from New Jersey,
then you suck and turn us off.
Hey, Johnny, Joe Piscopo is part of Star Trek canon.
Were they watching him on the Enterprise or something?
He was the comedian that tried to teach Data how to be funny.
Oh, and he failed miserably, I bet.
Well, yeah, because Data can't be funny. I bet Data then taught him how to be funny.
Because Piscopo can't be funny himself.
I think.
I can't tell you a single thing I remember he did. I love Star Trek. I don't remember that.
I once I read it, I do remember that episode. He was in the holodeck.
Who was it?
I think we got anything else to add for this lovely episode, or we
No, I already mentioned who I thought the most attractive.
Who is the most attractive
presidential
man, though?
Why do I have to genderize? I went with, this person. I thought Maya Rudolph is the most attractive.
Okay, what about just actual president? Who's the most attractive president
of all time, or just the ones that were portrayed on SNL?
Ooh,
no,
of all time.
All time.
Van Buren all the way.
JFK.
I'm gonna look at. I gotta look these people up.
JFK.
See their pictures.
I think Billy Joel said it best. JFK blown away. What else more can I say?
But how was he blown away?
By Marilyn Monroe. Didn't?
Oh, okay.
Well, he was on meth.
He did meth?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry. Vitamin B shots in my air quotes.
I mean, it's Martin Van Buren, guys. I don't know why we're even talking about this. Just look at Martin Van Buren and tell me you would not hit that.
No, because every time I see that, I think of Seinfeld with the Van Buren boys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't watch Seinfeld because it's not funny.
It's very funny.
It's not. I bet they have Joe Piscopo on there.
No, he was not on there.
I tell you guys, it's going to surprise you. This is really going to surprise you. But as I'm going down this list, I tell you who really stands out to me.
Oh,
who's that?
Tell you who it is. James Buchanan.
Yeah.
He's got character in his face. He looks like he'd be a good time, too. Look him up. Look him up. He's got a twinkle in his eyes, that James Buchanan. His hair is a little disheveled.
He does.
The 15th president.
He kind of looks at you like with a little knowing.
Yeah. We're going to have fun tonight. That's what we're going to do.
I'll stick with the Kennedys.
And he had a great time leading us into the Civil War.
That's a safe. That's such a safe pick,
I'll go with
Andrew. Such a safe pick.
I'll go with Kennedy. I'll go with Kennedy or the man that saved professional football, Teddy Roosevelt.
So you're just liking them for what they do, not just their appearance. It's all about aesthetics.
Yeah,
I like what they do.
Just aesthetics. You don't have a conversation with them. You just look at them and you lust, and that's who you go with.
I gotta have a conversation.
You look and lust.
I gotta have a conversation.
You lust as you look. I tell you who else is doing it for me is Harry S. Truman.
I think we're good here.
He's dead in.
So
when I think of Truman, I just think
those were some of our favorite SNL presidents, and
Where is
Seriously,
Harry
look at Truman. He
given
looks
that
good.
We talked about.
Where
There
is
we
Harry
go.
Truman?
He looks
dead
like he's
in the
got a
ground.
sparkle in
He's
his
dead
eyes.
In the ground.
So let us know how you feel about who's your favorite SNL cast member to play a president or anything like that.
It's like he's planning
Check
something.
us out on all social medias, Facebook, YouTube.
Something
he's
that he's not going to
definitely-
tell anybody else about.
He knows
With that
things.
being said, what may
Yeah,
not
but
be
look at that face.
nostalgia for you may be nostalgia for some.